team is different from last year, and any comparison would be, I don't think, doesn't have anything behind it. We take a look at this year's team. We had our ups and downs that last game. We put ourselves in some bad situations and didn't. You watch the film. We didn't look bad out there. It's just that we missed some tackles and they took advantage of some play calls, and it just didn't do well in general. But then you saw us come back and then got back into it, and it was just a game. Where this year, it's going to show what kind of team we are when we come and play Montreal, and I'm expecting big things from this year's team, and especially for this week, because we had a loss like that. We're going to come out there with the fire and the fire under our butts, and we're going to make something happen.
Do you see the difference with the veteran leadership this year too, coming off a week like that?
Oh yeah, and some of the older guys around here with all the old faces, they were pushing us hard, and we're getting right back into it.
This run defense has been pretty dominant in the first 5 games. What happened against Cornish?
We were trying different things. We in the first half there we weren't playing Rough Rider football. We put in a different scheme and things like that than we did the first time we played them. And then the second half coming out, we made a lot of adjustments, went back to some things that we did the first time we played them, and it made a big difference. And then they really only had that one big run, and you watched it, and we had him stuffed at the line of scrimmage, and we just had a few guys miss tackles on him, and he got a big yardage. But other than that, the second half, when we were playing the stuff that we were the game before, we were playing well against the run.
It's a little disappointing to see something work so long. It looks like you have someone stopped and then he breaks through rather than just getting beat in the first place.
Hey, that's football. I think that was, you watch the play and there's a few guys that might have thought that he was already down and things like that. But that's football. You just have to learn from that and just keep going.
This week, where you guys kind of put more of a focus back on the fundamentals on stopping the run, kind of?
Yes and no. Like I said. You watch, and when we were doing our jobs and we had good scheme in place and good play calls in place, then we were stopping the run. It's just with some of the stuff that we had, they took advantage of, and they had us hat for hat a few times, and they just, that's the way it was.
Is it sometimes easier to watch yourself on film after a loss and criticize rather than after a win?
Yes and no. After the loss, you kind of shoot yourself for what you did wrong, and you already know what you did wrong. The worst problem is when you look at the film and you go, and you look at those plays, you're like, he got 15, 20 yards on us and a touchdown, but you're like, we were all doing exactly what we were supposed to be doing. Where was the issue? And that's kind of where it really kicks you to watch the film and stuff like that. But then you look at the second half and you're like, okay, you see these ups, you see us when we've got good play calls. We're doing what we're supposed to be doing. We're really shutting them down.
Just taking the normal approach that we do every week, just focusing on Montreal. Last week was last week, it's only one game. It's a lot of different things that we could have done, but, our focus is on Montreal this week.
What are some of those things that you noticed that maybe didn't work out for the defense?
Basically just, we put ourselves in a hole, penalties and then, missed tackles. For the most part, we pretty much beat ourselves, not to take anything away from them, but it was just all us.
What do you look to now with Anthony Calvillo in Montreal, the guy who gets the ball really quick and is one of the greatest quarterbacks in CFL history?
Oh yeah, he is. he's that guy. They're going through a lot over there, and they're digging deep to try to pull out a win, especially against us. That'd be something big. So we have to just stay focused and play our game. Take care of our responsibilities and go from there.
How are you enjoying the switch to safety?
Oh, I like it a lot. Well, it makes our defense more diverse. With me and Butler be able to be interchangeable, and it kind of gives our opponent a lot to think about.
On the broadcast the other day, they were talking about how much of a hard hitter you are. Is that something you kind of pride yourself on? Developing a bit of a rep, I think.
I guess it's part of my game. I've always been like that since I played Little League football, and I've never been afraid to hit anybody. So.